Well, our core muscles are well known for supporting the body and providing relief from discomfort, but weak gluteus muscles can be the source of pain as well.
Very true. And Dr. Ken Stewart, Assistant Professor of Primary Care at KCU Joplin, introduces us to a rising issue among adults who work at a desk or drive or have a sedentary lifestyle. I'd never heard of this before, but I'm sure I have had the issue on a few plane trips while driving. I had this while driving. Dr. Stewart is going to tell us about something. I'm telling you, this is true. It is called dead butt syndrome.
That's what it's called.
Dr. Stewart, we love having you on Living Well every month. When you sent the notes over for this one, I reread it about 8 times, and I said, yep, that's what it says, and it really makes sense when you dig into it.
Well, it's kind of a catchy word, isn't it?
I don't think I'll ever forget it, yeah.
Yeah, so the medical term is actually gluteus medius syndrome.
All right.
But by the layperson's terms would be dead butt syndrome.
Sure.
Because it actually feels like your butt is dead.
Yeah.
So we have muscles that make up the buttocks, and they're really important, like you were talking about, for your core, maintaining connection between the hip and the pelvis. If those muscles are well developed, they maintain our stature, maintain our, the ways that we stand and those kinds of things, give us that balance, allow us to maintain balance. If we don't have those muscles developed, that's when we start getting into trouble. Because we've become more sedentary in sitting at the computers for hour after hour, sitting on there compresses those muscles. It restricts the blood flow to the muscles, which makes the muscle go to sleep. It actually makes the brain forget about that muscle, and when you go to use it, it doesn't function. So the key thing is getting up very frequently within every hour or half hour. Set your clock or some kind of timer.
My watch tells me to do that.
Yes.
Like if I've been sitting too long, it will say, okay,
get
time
up
to
and
get
walk
up and
around.
stroll.
That's great, because you would think you would remember, but you don't. You just get used to sitting there, and the more you do it, the longer you do it. And this can help by just getting up every 50 minutes is what you would recommend. It will help with blood clots and help with a whole range of health issues.
Exactly. Yes, you want to circulate that. The other thing is, walking up steps actually helps exercise those gluteal muscles. So if you get the chance to take stairs, it's a good way to circulate, get the blood circulating. It's also good for cardiovascular health. We always talk about that.
I read sometime within the past week that this may be the most underused exercise that there is out there, just walking up and down steps. If you can take those steps instead of the elevator, you're probably going to be in a better place.
Yes, yes. And there's other things you can do. You can do some squats. You can do put a rubber band around your legs and pull your leg out to the side to be able to kind of stretch those muscles. Those 3 muscles, they're all responsible for flexing the knee and flexing the hip and being able to get those kinds of motions that you would take walking up the steps.
So I have a question about this, because and this happens to me on occasion. If I'm driving long distances, sometimes one of my legs will go to sleep. I'll get the pins and needles. It will start here and it will run down my leg.
Yes.
Could that be DBS?
Very, very much so, yes. Numbness, tingling,
yes.
And actual pain because of having all that compression on that muscle restricts the blood flow, which is going to make it go to sleep and is going to make it not function. You might even get out of your car to walk and actually collapse because you don't have blood circulation to those muscles.
Because it does that's happened to me before. It's like your leg, it just completely gives out. You've just sat in that position too long.
Exactly.
So, and the longer you do that, the more that probably happens. So even if you don't realize that you're doing this, you might go ahead and you think, oh, I'm fine, I don't feel anything. You may notice it later in life.
Absolutely. You know what I think is really interesting about this syndrome is that it's for people who have inactivity, but it can also be people who have repetitive activity like cycling or runners.
That's what I was going to tell him you told me earlier, because he rides his bike every day, and it can do that to you as well.
So that's fine. You want to get those kinds of muscle circulation and stuff, but you also want to work those core muscles. You want to work those gluteal muscles, doing squats, doing leg abduction exercises, things to kind of get those gluteus muscles working. Climbing steps, doing stair climber. Those are really great exercises to be able to exercise the gluteal muscles.
So, doctor, where should you be feeling it if you are doing your exercises
right
properly?
In your buttocks.
Right? And really, seriously.
Yeah.
And that's where you feel it there, that's where the stretch is, and that's where you should be feeling it.
And you know what? The gluteus maximus muscle, which is the biggest muscle, it's the strongest muscle in the body. So it's tremendously powerful muscle. But you got to exercise it just like any muscle to make it strong, to make it healthy, and to be able to function well.
So the way it feels when we're going up a set of stairs, that's what we need to be making sure that we do a little bit of
If you're
every day.
feeling a burn, then you're exercising the muscle.
Okay.
Good to know. Doctor,
Yeah.
we always love having you come on. Thanks
I
so
love
much.
being here. Thank you so much.
You bet.